how did you decide to use the platform that you used to showcase your skills?
So a couple of things. First, I come from an information science background. So I wanted to use my technical skills to present my work in a way that felt modern and interactive and not just like a static PDF.
Welcome to Actualizing Success. In this podcast series, our in-house advisors discuss today's finance and technology topics with an emphasis on solutions that embrace tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Kerry Wekelo, our COO with Actualize Consulting, and today I am joined by Shubham Mehta, Adam, Nguyen, and Arushi Nisar. Today we will be discussing a success story of how Shubham excelled in his internship with Actualize to easily be offered a full-time position, and how his story is inspiring our current interns, Adam and Arushi. So let me set the stage. In my 21 years at Actualize, Shubham did something no other co-op or intern had done to ensure a full-time position. Shubham, tell us what you did to wow Actualize into an easy yes to bring you to full-time from an internship.
Thank you so much, Kerry. I've thought a lot about why this worked because it wasn't some grand strategy I had on day one. It was actually a pretty quiet moment. I was sitting at my desk a few weeks in and I realized the team had been investing in me in ways that went way beyond a normal internship. And I thought, I can't let that go unspoken. So what I did was, I built a portfolio website, a clean professional page that brought together all the projects I worked on during my internship in one place. It covered everything. The payment testing and client connectivity work I did with Hunter, who is my manager and someone who has invested in me from day one. The automated Power BI dashboards that I built with DOM that became a premium client feature, or the Python scripts that I had developed with Rob for automating our Zoho data pulls. The database troubleshooting that I was involved with the DB Access team, and not forgetting the project place to Monday migration, helping the firm transition to a new project management tool, which I worked on with you, Kerry, directly. This opportunity in particular gave me the chance to collaborate with every project manager at Actualize, and it even put me in a position to help train new intern on this platform. But the portfolio wasn't just a list of tasks. I wanted to show how working with each person on the team actually shaped my growth. The best example is Matthew. After my first tech meetup, I told him honestly that I only understood about 30% of the conversation that they were talking about. So it was about cash management, forecasting, and payment connectivity. And a lot of this was new to me. Most people would have just moved on. But Matthew looked at me and said, "Don't worry, Shubham. Trust me. I'll bring you from 30 to 100. And that's my guarantee." And he truly followed through. Weekly training sessions with me on Kariba, which is one of our main treasury management platform that our clients use. This moment changed everything for me. So the portfolio wasn't really about impressing anyone. It was my way of saying the team invested in me and here's the proof that it mattered. I sent it to you, Kerry, just before our interview, and I think it spoke louder than any resume could.
Yeah, like I said, nothing that I had ever seen before. And I really loved how you included the impact others had to you. And it really showcased the culture of Actualize, but then how you embraced it as well. And I knew we wanted to move forward with you. How did you decide to use the platform that you used to showcase your skills?
So a couple of things. First, I come from an information science background. So I wanted to use my technical skills to present my work in a way that felt modern and interactive and not just like a static PDF. I wanted you to be able to click through or see the projects visually and get a real sense of what each one involved. But honestly, the bigger reason was that I didn't want it to feel like a formal sell. A resume says, just hire me, but a portfolio said, look at what we've built together. I wanted you to see yourself that how the team reflected in it, because the truth is, none of those projects would have happened without the mentorship and trust I received from day one.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it worked. Well, I'm still blown away by this approach to landing a full-time position. And I was so impressed that I actually used your case study in presenting to other college students at Virginia Tech on communication and preparing to be a leader. I now want to ask Adam and Arushi how Shubham's story was inspirational. Adam, what were your takeaways from this case study?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from this case study and from Shabam's story is just like how real the mentorship at Actualize is. Like, it isn't some corporate environment where everyone's just going through the motions. Like, it feels genuinely like a family. And honestly, like that showed up for me even before I was even an intern at Actualize. When I was going through the application process, I was really, really nervous. I didn't really know what to expect, and I didn't know what to say. And the whole thing really felt like a lot of pressure. But I'd actually attended a case study at Virginia Tech where I get to sit on Kerry's workshop where she talked about Shabam and his story, and that kind of stuck with me. So during the interview process on a whim, I thought, why not really reach out? I sent Shabam a message on LinkedIn at like maybe 11:55 p.m. on a Friday night, not really expecting a response, not really expecting anything much. But he ended up responding in maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And he walked me through how to approach the interview, what to expect, what to highlight for my resume, and the whole conversation just kind of felt effortless. It didn't really feel like a formal coffee chat with some analyst from Wall Street that I'd never see again, but it felt like I was talking to a genuine friend who actually wanted me to succeed. I think another thing that I learned through Shabam's case and my own experience is that Actualize cares so much more about the person than the deliverables. During my interview process with Actualize, I got to actually talk about me, about what I like to do outside of work and school, and just really have a genuine conversation, in contrast to my interviews with Big Four consulting companies like Deloitte and PwC. In those interviews, I talked mainly about what I could do and what I could perform for them and what they could do for me. But in my interview with Actualize, actually, I remember in my interview with Hunter, who will now be my manager for the summer, we spent almost 15 minutes talking about esports and what video games we enjoy playing, even going over our interview time limit. And that just shows that the kind of people that work at Actualize are people you want to not only work with, but surround yourself with. And from that, I learned that's Actualize. Like, that's the culture that Shabam has been talking about all today.
Well, thanks, Adam. And I'm so glad that I was able to share and that you, on a whim, reached out to Shabam, who responded immediately. So that's amazing. I wouldn't have responded that late at night. Arushi, how about you?
Yeah, so I completely agree with Adam. Like, what Shabam has been talking about really speaks on how great Actualize's culture has been. And specifically for me, what really stood out about Shabam's story was that he took initiative to learn through collaboration every step of the way. Like, when I heard Kerry speak about him during the Pamplin Student Collective conference, it kind of redefined the meaning of hard work for me, because I was able to see that Shabam didn't just invest in Actualize, he was investing in himself as well, like really soaking up the knowledge that he was getting from anyone and everyone he could. And as someone just starting out, that really stuck with me. It shows me that gaining experience isn't just about completing the tasks, it's really about what you make of that experience and how it shapes you as a professional. He was able to use his strengths to present his accomplishments in such a creative and intentional way, so it stuck out, which reflects how he is as a professional and an individual. And that's something I hope to carry with me as I begin my own journey at Actualize Consulting.
Well, we're excited to have both you, Adam and Arushi, with us this summer, and hopefully for more to come from that. So, Shabam, any tips for Adam and Arushi as they join Actualize as our interns this summer?
Absolutely. So 3 things I would like to say. Firstly, be honest of what you don't know. That moment with Matthew, where I admitted that I only understood about 30%, this could have gone really bad. I could have nodded along and pretended. But being honest about my gaps is exactly what unlocked the mentorship that changed everything. People at Actualize don't judge you for not knowing. They invest in you when you're real about where you currently are. Second, document everything as you go. Don't wait until the end to try and remember what you worked on. I kept track of every project, every win, every learning moment throughout my internship. And that's what made the portfolio possible. If I had tried to build it from my memory in the last week, it wouldn't have been half as good. And third, treat every person on the team as someone you can learn from, not just your direct manager. Some of my biggest growth moments came from people I wasn't officially assigned to work with. So Rob trusted me with senior level Python work, or Matthew built an entire training program just for me. This team has depth. Tap into all of it at once.
Shabam, that is incredible advice. And I think it speaks to something bigger, the culture we build at Actualize. It's not about what you do. It's about how the team shows up for each other. And I'm so glad, Shubham, that you experienced that. And now Adam and Arushi are walking into that same environment, and just really appreciate everybody for being here. And it's just, Shubham, you kind of had a domino effect with what, it inspired me to inspire other college students. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is give people an opportunity to, be in this environment where you can really have something to sink your teeth in, and all your experiences are not what a typical intern would have, right? So I think that speaks volumes. Thanks, Shubham, Arushi, and Adam for joining me today.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Actualizing Success. Make sure to visit us online at www.actualizeconsulting.com, where you can explore our service offerings. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, or your preferred platform. If you've enjoyed what we talked about today, please consider leaving a review and following us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or would like to share your opinions with us, please send us a note at podcast@actualizeconsulting.com. We look forward to hearing from you.